Hi there, I'm Jimmy, also known as That Meditation Guy on Instagram. And today I'm going to show you a mindfulness meditation technique that follows the natural flow of your attention. So we're not going to be training the mind so much. We're not going to be controlling the mind. We're just going to be aware of what's happening. And we're going to note things as they arise. So we're going to take it nice and easy, but also we're going to learn something about ourselves. We're going to tune into and untangle our inner experience, but it's also going to be very enjoyable, very relaxing. So we'll start with some breathing because the breath is the quickest way to calm our mental state, and then we'll move into the mindfulness practice. So we'll start by taking some breaths in. We're going to breathe in for 6 seconds and breathe out for 7 seconds. And the reason for that is that extending the exhale will calm the nervous system and move us into a relaxation state. So just follow along with me. If you find my breaths are too deep and that makes you uncomfortable, just put it at a place which is comfortable for you. It's no problem, you don't have to keep up with me. And similarly, if you want to go deeper, if you're used to a lot of breathing practice, do that too. You can find your own rhythm. Just extend the exhale by 1 second longer than the inhale. So here's how it would look for me. Breathing in and breathing out through the nostrils. And breathing in and breathing out through the nostrils. And now you can gently close the eyes, breathing in. And breathing out. And just keep that going. Nice and easy, nice and smooth. If you breathe in for 6 seconds, breathe out for 7. If you breathe in for 7 seconds, breathe out for 8. Just very nicely, very easily keep that going. And you might start to feel the body relax already as you're doing that. If you notice any places of tension while you're doing it, you can let those go if that's available to you. If not, just keep breathing in that way. This is sending a message to the body that it's safe to relax, sending a message to the nervous system that it's time to be calm and orderly. And in turn, the body and the nervous system will trigger the brain and then thus the mind to start to calm down as well. Okay, so let's take one more breath. And now just rest, keeping the eyes closed. Allow the breathing to find a natural rhythm. No longer taking these deep breaths. Allow the breath to be completely natural, breathing through the nostrils or the mouth, or some combination of the two. And allow the breath to be as shallow or as deep as feels right to you in the moment. You don't need to try anymore, just let the body take over. And now just become aware of your visual experience. What can you see right now? Don't focus or concentrate too much. What is your experience of seeing right now? Maybe you see darkness because your eyes are closed. Or maybe there's some light coming through the eyelids, creating patterns or colors or something like that. Or maybe there's an experience of seeing which is coming from the mind. A picture of somebody's face that you know, or a picture of the room that you're in, even though you have the eyes closed. Or maybe something completely different. But understand that that is also an experience of seeing, even though it doesn't come through the eyes. So just be aware now of what your visual experience is without trying to change it or make it be a certain way. Okay, now you can let that go. And let's move to hearing. What can you hear? What is your experience of hearing right now if you just become aware without trying to do anything or concentrate on anything? Just tune into the experience of hearing. Of course, there's my voice, but there's also probably some sounds around the room, or maybe some sounds outside. You may also experience some mental talk, your own inner monologue, or maybe a song playing that you heard previously, or some other noise that's happening in the mind, not in the world around you. That's also a form of hearing. So just be aware right now of the experience of hearing. Okay, you can let that go. And now, just become aware of the experience of feeling. What do you feel right now? Maybe you're drawn to a sense experience like the feeling in the hands. Are they heavy? Are they hot or cold? Are they touching each other? Or maybe you're drawn to some other sense experience, a feeling in the stomach. Or maybe it's the feet. Let's take a moment now and just see where your attention is drawn to if you don't actively try and focus on anything. And just be aware of what you're feeling. And if something stands out, then you can favor that. You can put your attention mostly on that, but in a very gentle and easy way. Don't try too hard. So feeling tends to show up in body sensations in that way, tingling or hot or cold or just any kind of sensation really. But feeling also shows up as emotions, moods. If you felt nervous, that would also have a physical component, possibly in the stomach. If you felt tired, that may show up in the shoulders. So what emotions are there, or what feelings or what moods are there? Allow your attention to drift in those directions and just be aware. Don't try, just be aware what's there. And it's unlikely, but if nothing showed up, then we would call that a restful state. You're free to enjoy the restful state whenever it comes, when the experience seems empty. But we might not be quite there yet. And that's okay. So what is your experience of feeling right now? And allow the attention to drift. So you might be drawn to the stomach and you think, oh, I have some sensation there. And you stay with it, but then suddenly your feet feel cold. And so you allow your attention to drift to the feet. And you become aware of that for a little while. Maybe 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. And then something else comes along. So you say, okay, now I move to that place. And you're allowing the attention to drift naturally in the way that it would. But you're following that. And then you're infusing the experience with mindfulness. So let your attention now just drift to something that you're feeling. And then when it lands on something, just stay with it. And just soak your awareness into it. And if your attention wants to stay there, if it's particularly interesting, then just stay with it. This is an opportunity for the mindfulness to go deeper. So you soak your awareness into it even more deeply. By just being aware. But if your attention naturally moves to something else, then that's okay. Go to the next thing and repeat the process. If you find that there's an emotion that shows up, and it doesn't seem obvious that it relates to a particular body sensation, then you can just feel the emotion. Don't try and interpret it. Don't work it out. Don't get caught up in the story around it. Just feel it without any kind of judgment, without wishing it were different, without trying to change anything. Just be aware. And if you want to use a label, then the feelings, things that we feel, like body sensations, emotions, moods, these kinds of things, we just say feel. You say it mentally in the mind, very gently, every now and again, to remind yourself to stay tuned into the experience of feeling. It would be like this. Feel. 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 Don't make a rhythm of it. It's not part of it. It's just there to remind you to stay with the experience of feeling. And don't label the labels either. If you say feel, then of course it becomes a hearing experience, but we leave the labels out of the labeling process. And the same goes for my voice from now on. Those are exempt. So now just let the mind drift, and it may go back to a seeing experience, as we looked at before. Or it may move to a hearing experience. So the label for a seeing experience would be see. You'd repeat it gently. See. See. And then if the attention wandered away from that to a hearing experience, for example, your inner monologue starts up, or a song that you heard on the radio earlier starts playing, then you'd move your attention to the hearing experience. Just be aware of that. And the label would be hear. Hear. So I'll give you some time now. And you just explore. You don't have to do anything too active, just become aware of what's happening. Allow the attention to drift, and then soak your awareness into whatever comes up. Stay with it for as long as you like, or move on when it feels natural to move on. If you find that more than one experience is showing up in your awareness, then just choose one thing to focus on and then favor that above everything else. You don't need to block anything out or try too hard. Just gently favor one of the experiences that are coming up in awareness. And if at any point you find there's no experience present, this is a restful state. And you can just enjoy that until it changes. Remember that thoughts could never be a problem in this style of meditation, because you just label the parts that make them up. Thoughts are usually made of a bit of mental talk, which is a hearing experience, maybe a seeing experience, an image in the mind, and possibly a sensation in the body. It will be some combination, because you can track any and all experience using those three labels: see, hear, feel. So just relax and be aware and see what comes up. you can start to gently wiggle the fingers and gently wiggle the toes. Maybe take some slightly deeper breaths, and in your own time, in any way that feels good, you can slowly start to bring yourself out of the meditation. So, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you for the next meditation very soon. Have a lovely day.